Well, hello, my friend. Hope you're doing amazing today. And as always, I thank you for sharing part of your amazing day with me. Now, as many of you might know, I'm a cancer survivor. I became one after winning my battle with stage 3 non Hodgkin's lymphoma in February of 2016. And what you may not know is that, in my experience as a cancer survivor anyway, that meant going in for scans about every 6 months to make sure that the tumors, there was no sign of tumors within my body. And every time I go in, there's always that concern, that pause for thought, right? That maybe it could be back. But every time, prior to the last time, the scan has been clean. This last time, a week or so ago, the result was different. The scan showed signs for concern. There was a nodule growing in my lung. Now, whether or not that's cancerous or not, I don't know. That's yet to be determined. More testing will be needed. But this bad news is ultimately what inspired this video. Because once that bad news came, of course, there's that moment of panic and fear. But once it settled in, I began to look for the blessings within this bad news. And I found them. One of the blessings I realized was that, or that came to me, I guess, was that maybe my self care regime hasn't been as good as it could be. I've gained a fair amount of weight recently. My doctor, my oncologist, has told me that's a good thing, at least in signs of this being a cancerous development, because it's rare for that to happen. But I began to think, okay, maybe I've let my self care regime, my health, suffer a little bit. Maybe I've been too focused on my career, too focused on achievements, too focused on a lot of different things, and not focused enough on caring for myself. I also got another blessing, a reminder, a more solid reminder than I got every 6 months when I did my scan, that my mortality is a reality, that I am going to die. We're all going to die, obviously, right? But that reminder that mortality could be around the corner, that my passing could be around the corner. It's not back to being something that's 20 years down the road. And that reminded me of this reality that I needed to live with joyful urgency, something that I've talked about in past videos. A reminder that I need to be happy every day because there may not be another day. A reminder that some of those achievements and some of those things I'm concerned about might not be that big a deal if I'm on my deathbed tomorrow. Now, that may sound morbid, but ultimately it's a blessing. It's a blessing to me because it serves as a great reminder, a reminder that I wouldn't be able to digest the same way, like I said, with just having a scan. That life is precious, life is fragile, and that my time is the most valuable asset I have as I knock into my microphone that I won't edit out because, why not? And as I check my notes too. The other thing is, the final thing is, I realized that I reminded myself, I guess, of the fact that I don't have the ability to control everything that goes on. As much as I might want to live in joyful urgency or care for myself, I also realize, and in a different way, in a deeper way because of the bad news, that I can't control everything. That there's so little, in fact, that I can control. I have another week before I go in for another scan to see whether or not my cancer's back. And I can't do anything, right, to control the outcome of that scan. I can't do anything over the next week to cure myself, or whatever word you want to use. I can only allow. I can only focus on taking the lessons that I'm learning from it and consider them to be a blessing. And hope. Pray, whatever you want to say. Put energy towards the idea that I have a healthy body. Of course, there's numerous other lessons that are either maybe less significant or monumental, for lack of a better way of saying it, and also perhaps more particular to me that I don't know that are universal. At least not as universal as the three principles I think I've laid out. So my hope is in making this video is that you see that there can be blessings in bad news. Reminders of your mortality, reminders of what you can control, and reminders of the need to care for yourself. Of course, I realize that there are exceptions to this principle. And maybe if I find out that I have cancer again, that might fit into that category. But at the same time, I think even in some of those darkest times, we can find blessing. And I hope you can find blessings in whatever bad news that you're dealing with, because we all are, right? And what a benefit, because we're going to get bad news no matter what. But what a huge benefit it is for us to look for the blessings, look for the lessons, because not only will that help us in our future, but I think it will help all around us. So with that in mind, I thank you for watching. I will update you when the new information becomes relevant or becomes known to me and becomes digested, I guess, in a way that I feel comfortable sharing it with all of you. And I thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.